And continuing on our Excel 101 course for financial modeling, this time we'll learn about the paste special functions in Excel. Another tip, another hack that will increase your efficiency dramatically when you're performing financial modeling. So on this spreadsheet, we have two identical spreadsheets as we did before. We have the same data for the income statement, and you can see that the income statement above is hard-coded, has hard-coded numbers, and the income statement below have direct references to the cells up above. Our first topic would be the value paste function. So you can see, as I stated, that these are only references to the cells above, and let's say that you want to convert these only references to actual hard-coded numbers. What you would do is, first you would select the entire cells and you would press Ctrl C. So up until now it's pretty much the same, but when you want to perform a value paste, you want to use the alphabet E, S key, and that's going to pop up a paste special pop-up where you have various options for paste special functions. And this time, as you want to have some hard-coded numbers, we would select values. And how you do that is you press the alphabet V and press enter, and now you can see that instead of having links to the cells above, now we actually have the hard-coded data which we intended in the first place. I'm going to press Ctrl Z and undo what we just did. Another important function is the paste formats function. So you can see that these two tables are formatted identically, so we're going to create an identical table just below that, but this time we're only going to create the formats. So what we want to do is we want to copy the entire rows. Also, you can also do a shift space key if you want, but this time let's just copy these cells over here. We're going to do a Ctrl C, and we're going to move to row 51, and again Alt ES for the paste spatial pop-up, and this time we want to select formats, so T for formats. And if you press enter, what you can see here is that you have only pasted the formats from your copied cells. And it's not only the colors and the border lines, but if you attempt to write something here, for example here, the income statement, you can see that the formats of the fonts as well is automatically formatted with exactly the same with the ones above. So as for the case before in 2.7, we had a range of data that we needed to format. So before we knew paste format functions, we would just select these cells one by one, and we would have to draw border lines as we've learned, Alt HBD. Well, instead of doing that, now you can just copy the entire identical cells. You could perform a Alt ES T for paste formats, and that's going to save you a lot of time for formatting. Next, another very useful function is to paste multiply and paste divide functions. So this time what we're going to do is, let's say we want to change the units for the income statement on the second. So let's say that we want to add, so we want to multiply 10 to all of these cells. One way you can do is you can select one cell and you could simply edit your cells by pressing F2, and you can multiply it by 10. And then you could, copy it across. That's one way to go. But instead of doing that, this time, let's just manually input 10, hard code the numbers. What we're going to do is we're going to copy the multiplier, and then we're going to select again our target cells, and we're going to go to Alt-ES once again. And this time what we're going to do is we're going to press the M key for multiply. And what it does is, for all of these selected cells, now we have a times 10 formula behind your original formula. So it's a very quick way to add, subtract, multiply, or divide specific numbers to the existing data sets. And again, to divide again into 10, again we're going to press Ctrl C, select the entire data, Alt ES, and I for divide. And again, if you want to paste formats, Ctrl C, Alt EST to paste formats, and we've returned to our original state. Our last topic in paste special would be to paste the formulas. So you can see that we've already pasted the formats down below. But the problem with this is that, let's say we link the revenue title cell, and let's say that if we simply use Control R and the Control down function, the problem with it is that the original formats go away, and it is replaced by the formats on B53 where we started the copy and paste process. So in order to avoid that, what we're going to do is we're going to press Ctrl C and select the entire data set, Alt ES again, and this time let's select paste formulas. So it's only going to paste the formulas, and it's not going to alter the formats at all. So F for paste formulas and enter, and then let's erase these cells, and your format stays the same, and you don't have to perform the paste format function once more. And again, this is a way of increasing your efficiency. So if you have a pre-formatted cell somewhere, and if you want to copy or paste or cut and paste your cells or formulas, this is a very useful way of doing that. Our last tip on paste special is the transpose function. So this might not be a very good usage example, but let's say that, for example, you want to switch the columns with the rows. What you would do is you would copy the entire data set, and again Alt ES, and if you select transpose, so you would press E for transpose, and if you press enter, and again Alt ES V and transpose, you can see that all the rows and columns are flipped. So instead of the revenue data being on a horizontal axis, now revenue is vertically aligned, and this would be the numbers for 2019, 2020, 2021, and so on. So transpose functions, we use them rarely, but sometimes it comes in very handy when you're doing financial modeling or even other Microsoft Excel related tasks. So please remember the fact that there is a function that lets you switch the rows and columns. And one last thing to note is that, well, some students ask, instead of using the Alt-ES keys for the paste special pop-up, we do have an alternative, and that is to copy the cell and function Control-Alt and V key. It does pretty much the same with pressing Alt-ES one by one. Whichever you prefer, it really doesn't matter, but to speed things up, I think Alt-ES is much more quicker, so I prefer that. And I've seen many investment bankers or research analysts or consultants, and most of them, they do use Alt-ES instead of Control-Alt-V, and I think that's more convenient. So in this lesson, we've learned all about paste special functions. We've learned how to paste values to hard-coded numbers, how to paste only the formats, how to paste only the formulas. We've also learned about multiplying and dividing to certain numbers. And lastly, the transpose function, which lets you switch the columns with the rows. And lastly, an alternative shortcut to paste special.